everyone, it's me, Dr. Steve, and I've got a special invitation for you if you'll be in Las Vegas for the Bitcoin conference. Now, I'm hosting an exclusive welcome dinner there on May 27th called the Golden Age Gathering. It'll be an incredible night with courageous conversation and a live Q&A session. You even get a signed copy of my best-selling book over here. Best part, if you're a Courageous Patriots Club member at the gold level, your ticket's already free. Space is super limited, so head on over to goldenagesummit.net/viva-liberty, or just click on the link below and reserve your seat today. I'll see you there. It's a papacy like no other. Just days after appearing on the balcony of St. Peter's Cathedral, the first American pontiff has already broken with his predecessor, Pope Francis, in embracing a return to tradition, a return that has woke leftists up in arms.
I'm a little concerned about this choice for the LGBTQ plus community. In 2012, he gave an address to bishops, and he lamented the popular culture fostered and sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel, and that's a quote. And then he cited the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families comprised of same-sex partners and their adopted children. I think that Pope Francis certainly made great changes in terms of embracing the LGBTQ plus community and extending blessings to the community. And I hope that this Pope doesn't roll back.
Well, unfortunately for Sunny Hostin and the ladies at The View, Pope Leo has indeed come out and affirmed traditional Catholic teaching on the family. In his very first major remarks as pontiff, Leo reaffirmed traditional Catholic doctrine regarding marriage and the innate dignity of the unborn. Speaking privately to the diplomatic corps at the Vatican on Friday of last week, Pope Leo affirmed that the family is founded on, quote, the stable union between a man and a woman, and that the unborn and elderly enjoy dignity as God's creatures, articulating clear Catholic teaching on marriage and abortion at the start of his pontificate. Now, these statements are not simply in line with traditional Catholic teaching. They are, in fact, extensions of what he said years back when then Bishop Robert Prevost bemoaned what he called the homosexual lifestyle at a gathering of the World Synod of Bishops in 2012. Here's video of Prevost reading his address.
Western mass media is extraordinarily effective in fostering within the general public enormous sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel. For example, abortion, homosexual lifestyle, euthanasia. Catholic pastors who preach against the legalization of abortion or the redefinition of marriage are portrayed as being ideologically driven, severe, and uncaring, not because of anything they say or do, but because their audiences contrast their message with the sympathetic, caring tones of media-produced images of human beings who, because they are caught in morally complex life situations, opt for choices that are made to appear as healthful and good. Note, for example, how alternative families comprised of same-sex partners and their adopted children are so benignly and sympathetically portrayed in television programs and cinema today. If the new evangelization is going to counter these mass media-produced distortions of religious and ethical reality successfully, pastors, preachers, teachers, and catechists are going to have to become far more informed about the context of evangelizing in a world dominated by mass media.
Now, obviously, this isn't sitting well with woke far-left activists who thought that they had finally made inroads into the papacy via Francis. One activist wrote, quote, I do think it's fairly tragic that the new pope has regressive views on gender and sexuality, but I think all the people standing the cardinals forgot that the Catholic Church is an inherently evil institution. Pope Francis was sort of a fluke, and even he was far from perfect. I'm wondering why the Catholic Church isn't giving these people the time of day. The irony here in that comment is that this leftist activist fails to see that it's actually the woke progressives who are the true regressives in their views on gender and sexuality, not the papacy. Get ready. We're about to flip the script. But first, do you ever wonder why your brain feels foggy even when you're eating clean and exercising? It might not be burnout. It could be parasites. It's true. Groundbreaking research from Dr. Alan McDonald revealed a direct link between chronic parasitic infections and neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis. Parasites can cause inflammation, nerve damage, and long-term cognitive decline. More reason to do a full body cleanse at least once a year. The Wellness Company has a solution for you. Ivermectin and mebendazole, the gold standard parasite solution, now combined in one cleanse combo. Designed to eliminate harmful invaders and support your immune system naturally. Medical grade, not some trendy herbal gimmicks. All you got to do is just fill out a quick intake form and get a 3-month supply shipped straight to your door. Maha is officially here, and the Wellness Company is making hard-to-get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head on over to twc.health/Turley and use code Turley to save $90 off plus free shipping. Click on that link below and cleanse your body today. In ancient Greece, homosexual relationships were completely socially acceptable. It was often in the form of a relationship between a teacher and his young student, a relationship called synusia. It was basically considered a form of sexual mentorship. But we should note here that even with this widespread acceptance, the ancients never equated same-sex relationships with marriage or the family, precisely because they recognized that the traditional family was the bedrock of human civilization. And if you messed particularly with the procreative significance of that institution, you mess with the very future of human civilization itself. Regardless, the marriage ceremony in ancient Rome reenacted the story of what's called the rape of the Sabine women. Centuries earlier, when it was found that among the original settlers of the city were without wives, they invited the neighboring Sabine tribes to join in festivities and horse races. At some point in the feast, the Romans turned and killed off all the Sabine men and married their daughters the following morning. So it was this act of assimilating the world into Rome that was reenacted at every Roman marriage, where the groom was armed with a sword and the bride was weaponless. She was, in effect, his trophy. What's absolutely essential to get here from the Christian vantage point is that this was a world, a cosmos, that was cut off from heaven. It was a world where the powerful dominated the weak, men dominated women, demons reigned supreme. With the coming of Christ as the Son of God incarnate and the incorporation of the totality of the cosmos into his transformative life, death, and resurrection, that world was entirely overturned. Heaven and earth were forever reunited, and as such, the coming Christian civilization radically overturned these older, darker notions of gender, sexuality, and marriage. In his description of marriage in his letter to the Ephesians, St. Paul sees every man as a representative of Christ on earth, while the woman represents the church, with their union embodying the cosmic union of heaven and earth, which are hetero, not homo. Heaven and earth are different. They are not the same. And this had profound ramifications for the marriage relationship itself. The church promoted love as the central characteristic of marriage, not domination. And it required that husbands be as faithful to their marriages as their wives were required to be. The practice of husbands having relations with concubines, which was widely accepted in the Greco-Roman world, was redefined successfully by the church as adultery and was scorned. Indeed, Christianity always had a particular affinity towards women, in stark contrast to the rather lowly status afforded to women in the ancient world. Women were prominent among the first followers of Christ and the first witnesses to his resurrection. And children transfigured during this period of time as well. In contrast to the rampant abortion in the Greco-Roman world, the church considered children to be fully and innately human because Christ came into the world as a baby. Infancy was seen as sacred in the eyes of God. Indeed, the child was understood as the embodiment of the love shared by husband and wife, with every family transforming into an image of the eternal Trinity. So the irony here is that by re-embracing a vision of marriage and reproduction amputated from this vision of the church, woke activists are, in point of fact, the regressives. They are the ones who want to return to the darkness of an old world closed off from the heavenly life that's broken into our world in and through Christ and his body, the church. They are the regressives, while traditionalists, ironically, are the true progressives. And so, as Pope Leo XIV begins what promises to be a truly formative papacy, his reaffirmation of traditional Catholic teaching signals that he believes, like the rising civilizationalist world all around him, that the way forward is back. Progression always, by definition, involves return, as time itself is increasingly transfigured by the light of eternal and everlasting glory.